Welcome back, the Keto family. I hope you brought your sweet tooth. Today we're making low carb white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. If this is your first time with us, don't forget, hit the subscribe button below and the bell icon so you don't miss upcoming videos. Alright lovelies, just a reminder, as always, everything I'm using today is going to be listed right down there in the description below. And at the end of the video will be a nutritional information card with a breakdown that gives you an idea of what to expect with these cookies. Now, I always encourage you to do your own breakdown. There's plenty of online tools for that because your ingredients or the number of cookies you get might be a little different than mine. Mine just gives you an idea of what to expect. That being said, let's get started. So guys, I can't tell you how excited I am that I finally found white chocolate chips in a local grocery store to me. I checked Publix, I checked Kroger, I checked Walmart, I checked the commissary. I've been looking for weeks for a bag of these white chocolate chips ever since My Keto Friends had a video where they made cookies with white chocolate chips. It's like I was dying of jealousy. I wanted them so bad. And I'll link that video up here for you. It's a really great recipe. It's not the recipe I'm using today. I found a different one that I love, but theirs is also absolutely delicious. So anyways, I've been looking for weeks. I didn't want to order them online because y'all know as well as I do, they are way more expensive to order them online than to find them local. But I finally found them at Kroger. I found them yesterday and I was super stoked. I just had to do this video because I'm so excited. Alright, so to get started, I have 1.5 cups of almond flour. It has been sifted. As always, sift your powders and your flour so you don't get any lumps or bumps. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to mix all my dry ingredients into my almond flour. In here I have a 1/4 cup of oat fiber. Now before y'all start grumbling at me, oat fiber, I don't do oat fiber, hear me out. Oat fiber is actually just the outer husk of the oat that's been milled down into a powder. It is completely fiber, it's non-digestible, it's not going to be absorbed into your body or broken down during the digestive process. It is keto safe, guys. Trust me on that one. I did a lot of research on it. I've got 1/2 teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Alright, we're going to give our dry ingredients a mix up. Alright, now that that's mixed together, I'm going to set that aside for now. Alright, so now we're going to be using our stand mixer. If you have a hand mixer, by all means use that. I got a stick of butter here that's already been softened. And of course, I didn't wait for it to soften on the counter. I'm bad. I stuck it in the microwave for about 30 seconds to soften it up because I don't know about you guys, but when you have a lot going on, you forget to take your butter out. So I cheat a little bit. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put this down and we're going to whip our butter up until it's nice and fluffy. Alright, so that butter is good and fluffy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my sweetener to it. I've got a 1/4 cup of monk fruit here. You can use golden monk fruit if you prefer, or whatever your sweetener of choice is. But if you're going to be using golden monk fruit, I wouldn't also use a swerve brown sugar, which is I have here. It's another 1/4 cup. You could probably just use the 1/2 cup of the golden monk fruit and that be it, or less. You know, you might not want these quite that sweet. I'm not a super sweet fan, so I like to adjust the sweetener up and down a little bit. So for this, I have 1/2 cup of monk fruit and 1/2 cup of swerve brown sugar. We're going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, let's scrape down our sides. Alright, so the next add-in is going to be a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then I also have maple syrup extract here. This is optional, but I find it really does lend just that great pop of flavor to it. We're just going to do a couple drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops of that. Alright, let's mix that in now. Alright, next thing we're going to add is our egg that's already been beaten, 1 large egg. Alright, now that our wet ingredients are all mixed together, I'm going to go ahead and add the dry mixture we put together earlier. And we're going to mix this just until it's good and combined. Alright, that is it. Our batter is done. Let's get all this off of here. this off and out of the way. I'm going to turn this out into a bowl so y'all can see what I'm doing. Alright, lovelies, now for the best part. We're going to add in 2/3 of a cup of white chocolate. Alright guys, sorry about that, but my camera battery decided to die right then. But I just added 2/3 of a cup of Lily's white chocolate chips. Oh, these guys, we literally had to stop ourselves from just snacking the whole bag away because we were taste testing them yesterday. They're so delicious. Alright, so next we have the macadamia nuts. I have a 1/2 cup of macadamia nuts that I took and I chopped up coarsely with a knife. If you didn't want to take the time to chop these up with a knife, you know, you can throw these in a Ziploc bag and pound them out with a meat mallet. If you don't care how thick or how thin they are, you can probably put them in the food processor. I prefer mine to be more coarsely ground. I think it adds more texture, more fun. I prefer it. But if you don't mind how thick or how thin yours get, then by all means, you know, pulse them in a food processor to how you like them. But I had the time. I find working in the kitchen with the prep work and the cooking, even with the cleaning, it's very relaxing to me. It's, you know, it's my zone, it's my time, so I don't mind taking the time to cut up each macadamia nut individually. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold these in, get them dispersed throughout the batter. Alright, now that our dough is done, I have a baking sheet here already sprayed with avocado oil cooking spray. If you prefer, you can always put a sheet of wax paper, parchment paper down. I just give it a quick spray and we're good. Alright, let's see. We're going to scoop it out, flatten it ever so slightly. I try to make mine a little bit pretty. You can do as you want. I like to make mine a little pretty. Okay, these are going to spread out a little bit as they cook, so you don't want to put them too close together on the baking sheet. Make sure I got those white chocolate chips throughout. If you're really strict keto as well, you can always get out your food scale, get a ball, measure each ball so you know exactly each one is going to be exact same. I'm not that strict. I'm more in maintenance phase now, so I can have a little bit of leeway with it. But if that's what you need to do, by all means do it. Alright guys, so I've got all my cookies out, and yes, I did have to pull out one of my older cookie sheets. I know it looks pretty old and crummy, but it works just fine for me. I didn't want to have to do multiple rounds in the oven. So I got 14 cookies all together. I'm going to bake these at 325. They're going to bake, well, we'll start checking them about 12 minutes or so. They should bake about 15 minutes, but I'll let you know when they come out exactly how long they bake for. See you guys in a minute. Alright, lovely. So these just came out of the oven. They cooked right at 14 minutes, and they just started to brown on the edges, and they're perfectly done. See that? Love it. So I'm going to let these cool for a few minutes before I tend to remove them, because I am not interested in having them crumble into little bits of burning my finger. So I'll see y'all back in a minute once these have cooled down. Alright guys, so these have finished cooling down completely, and they are marvelous. Now, just as a word of caution, don't do what I did. I got impatient and tried to remove them from the cookie sheet a little too soon to get them cooled off quicker, and I did break a couple of them just a little bit. But that's okay, because that's a really good excuse to eat some of them before, you know, finishing this up. But they are all done. They are absolutely delicious. Guys, these are perfect. You cannot ask for better. They're perfectly caramelized on the bottom. They're soft, but still just a little bit chewy, and the flavor is on point. Now, if you like your cookie super sweet, you might want to add a little more sweetener than I did. If you just want barely any sweetness, add a little bit less. And what I did, I think personally for me and my family, we love it just like this, but you might want to adjust it a little bit. Alright guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you found this recipe helpful. Don't forget, leave me a thumbs up down below, and feel free to share this video with anybody that you know can use a great low carb white chocolate macadamia nut cookie. Until next time guys, bye.
They're yum.